All right, it's that time of day. Welcome to Adobe Creative Cloud. Welcome to my stream. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see so many of you popping into the room. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that I often talk about, but I never talk about it this particular way. It's actually how to create a video with Adobe Spark Video. I've shown videos or how to do video work in Premiere. I've shown Spark Post. I've shown Spark Page, but I really haven't spent a lot of time showing off Spark Video. And Spark Video is actually a very cool part of Creative Cloud. It's a very cool application. We're going to talk about the ins and outs and how it works and how you guys can get started creating your own videos with Spark Video. So hello, Erica. Hello, Victoria. Hello, Michelle. And hello, the name that just scrolled past I didn't see, but hello everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. You've been wanting to learn about this? Great, Erica, you're about to learn about it, and hopefully I can get you inspired to start using it today. So first and foremost, there's two ways to use these Spark products, and I already mentioned all three of them. There's Spark Page, Spark Post, Spark Video, and today we're going to be talking about Spark Video. All three are iOS applications. So if you go to the App Store, you can download Spark Video, Spark Page, Spark Post. What if you don't have an iOS device? What if you're an Android person? What if you you're like one of those few people that don't have a mobile device at all? Well, today I'm going to actually do as much as I can, perhaps all of it, from the web. So even if you don't have an iOS device, you can really use Spark even just in a web browser. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to try and do the whole thing in a web browser, and we'll see how that goes. But I do have my iPhone handy just in case I need to show something on the iPhone, but everything should go, famous last words, everything should go properly in the web browser. And it's pretty quick, pretty easy, pretty fun to do. So what you're going to do, I'm going to pop over to my computer so you can see where I am. You're going to point your browser to spark.adobe.com. That's the URL for Adobe Spark, and that's where you're going to point your browser, spark.adobe.com. And again, if you have the iOS apps, great. You know, I prefer working in the app because usually that's where I'm doing my sharing and that's where my media is and so forth and so on. But if you don't have an iOS device, you can do this from the Spark website, spark.adobe.com. Now, for Android users, the promise is that it is coming to Android. Every time I bring this up to the Spark team, they just tell me, we're working on it, we're working on it, we're working on it. So they are building the apps for Android, that I can say. I just can't say when, because I don't know. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and dive in. And I just answered your question, Turgold. So yes, it is coming for Android. But just not here yet. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go ahead and click the plus sign in the web browser. And you have the ability to choose post, page, or video. Today we're going to talk about video. And Andre, great to see you as well. Now, the first thing it asks you is, what do you want to call this? Like, what's your story about? It could be something you're trying to sell. It could be an idea you're trying to pitch. It could be a trip report. We use this internally all the time, not necessarily video, but we use Spark Page all the time to talk about events and give stats, and it turns it into a nice web page. This, of course, makes a video. So you can use it for a lot of things. If you're a photographer, maybe you're going to use it to tell your photography journey, your photography story. So whatever storytelling you're trying to do, that's what Spark Video is all about. So I'm going to just call this, I'll make it a travel one, and I've been using my Iceland one to death, so we're going to give Iceland a break today. We're going to travel to a different region. How about my trip to Egypt? All right, so we're going to say next, and then it asks you for a template, or to pick one. You can, and these templates, don't think of them as typical design templates where it's formatting text and images. It's doing some formatting, but it's mostly about the, and I'll show it to you once we pick one, but it's mostly about proposing how your video will be organized. I guess that's the best way to say it. So templates in Spark Video are less about design and more about just storyboarding. That's the best way to put it. So if I want to promote an idea, I'd pick that one. If I want to tell a story, tell what happened, I'd pick that one. If I'm talking about how someone overcame a great challenge, maybe I'd do that. If I'm talking about, there's an Egypt video right there. If I want to do show and tell, I'd talk about that. Personal growth, oops, I scrolled past real fast. Personal growth, teach a lesson, an invitation, or you don't have to. You can just start from scratch and make up your own. You don't have to use a template. So I'm going to go ahead and choose, I want to do show and tell, but I'm going to go ahead and say tell what happened. So when I pick the tell what happened template, Spark is setting it up now. And it prompts me with this tutorial, which I've already said, don't show me again. So why are you showing me again? But let's go ahead and close the tutorial. And this is what I meant by the storyboard. So it wants you to start off with who, like who are you? What's this about? And then, or who are you? Then when and where? Then this happened, this happened, this happened. And of course, if you have more, this happened, you can add more. You don't have to, you're not limited to just 3. You can then say how it ended and reflection, and then there's credits and an outro. Now, again, all of this is based, this is just idea. You don't have to stick to this. If you only want to keep it short and just talk about one, this happened, then you can delete the other 2. If you want to add more, you can add more. And again, these are just placeholders. They're not actual content. So you can use this as the, hey, maybe this is the way I should do it, or not. You can just skip it. You don't have to use any of this. So again, this is just like an outline that you can or don't have to use. It's totally up to you. All right, so let's go in and do the first one, the who. I'm on the who slide. And now it's basically asking me to do one of 2 things. I can do either one first. I can either narrate the who I am, or I can go ahead and add the content for the who I am. Either one, but I can do either one. I'm going to do both, but it doesn't matter which one you do first is what I'm trying to say. So I don't need the prompt. I'm just going to go ahead and click add content. And now it asks me, what do you want? Do you want to add a video? Do you want to add text? Do you want to add a photo? And you can choose any one you want. And of course, if you want to use a photo, which I do, then on the right-hand side, you get to choose where your photo is going to come from. So for example, if you want to upload a photo right from your drive or right from your device, if you were doing this on iOS, you can. Can you upload, okay, so Andre's asking, you may have already covered this, I didn't, but can you upload 4K video and or 360 video? Definitely not 360, and I've yet to try 4K. I'm trying to think, did I do 4K on my phone once last week when I was playing around with this? I think I did upload 4K. I don't know that it keeps it 4K, but I think it will convert it to 1080p actually, to be honest with you. I don't think we're doing 4K stories yet. But definitely not 360. It will not let you rotate a 360-degree video. All right, so let's go ahead and choose, like I said, I can upload a photo, you can upload a JPEG right from your hard drive, right from your iOS device, or you can grab one from the cloud. So if you want to use a stock image, you can. If you want to grab one from your Creative Cloud folder, you can. I keep my images in Lightroom, so that's where I'm going to go get mine from. You can use Dropbox or Google Photos. So I'm going to go ahead and click Lightroom. It will take me into my Lightroom mobile or Lightroom mobile synced photos. I'm going to click on travel, which is my travel collection, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Egypt, since that's the subject of the day. All right, so I can see my various Egypt photos, and somewhere in here, there might even be a picture of me in Egypt. If I scroll down and find one, scrolling. Ah, there I am. All right, so I can pick maybe this one. All right, so that's just me, doing the silly thing that they always want you to do in that particular spot in Egypt. There's a person always telling you how to pose and how to stand, and you can do it or not. But I was really focused on taking the pictures, and then someone said, "No, turn around, put your hands like this." Anyway, so I've got my photo there. I can add text to this as well, so I can say my first trip, or I'll say this. I'll just say my Egyptian adventure. All right. So again, it's not. You don't get a lot of formatting, a lot of move this around options. You don't get. You don't get a lot of choices of what you can do. I can move it, and but it's not letting me pinpoint exactly where I want to move it to. It's in other words, so this is kind of keeping it constrained to the way it wants to work with the text. So if you really wanted something fancy, like your logo, the text in a certain spot, multiple text boxes, different fonts, so forth and so on, then I would just go ahead and design that still image in Photoshop and bring it in that way. But this is just basic for people that are just want to do something quick and simple. All right, so now this is the big part. And this is the part that separates Spark Video from pretty much any other video editor. This is the part that I love so much about this particular tool, is that you can narrate slide by slide, or frame by frame. And what that means is that you don't have to be like a voiceover expert that's reading a script for the whole video. I can just narrate this one slide, take a break, pause, bring in the next slide, narrate the next slide, so forth and so on. I don't have to narrate. I can just let the slide speak for itself, because there's also music playing in the background, which we'll get to in a minute. Once I'm done narrating 2 or more slides, it will feel like, when it's played back, one continuous video. That's the part I love about it. So I don't have to be a script expert. I don't have to, read and not make a mistake for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 6 minutes at a time. I can read and I can narrate this one. If I don't like it, narrate it again. If I don't like it, narrate it again until I get it just right. Then move on to the next one and repeat the process. All right, so let's narrate this. Now, you should be able to hear this. If everything's set up correctly, I'm gonna narrate this. You're gonna hear me obviously narrate it, but you should be able to hear it when I play it back, and it will play it back with music. All right, so let's go ahead and narrate this. I don't even remember what year this one was. My first trip was in 1990, and then I got a chance to go back for work. I'll say that. Oh, hang on. Let's allow it. Yes. All right. My first trip to Egypt was back in 1990, but then later on, I got a chance to go back for work. All right, and they want you to keep these. They suggest, I shouldn't say want, they suggest you keeping these down to 10 seconds or less, because just to keep things short, just to keep things, moving. You can narrate longer. You can narrate as long as you want. And you can play a video back that's as long as it is, but keep it short because people's attention span. All right, so now I can play back this one recording, or I can play back the whole video down here. So I'm just going to play back this one. You should be able to hear that. Egypt was back in 1990, but then later on I got a chance to go back for work. And you'll notice that when it finished, the slide, the text started to drop down, because now in Spark Video, and this is, I don't know when they dropped this in, but it's kind of cool that this allows me to have animations that I don't have to worry about knowing how to build. It will just do it automatically. Now, you also have some options for how the particular slide is going to be organized. So I can do split screen. I can do it as a caption. I can do it as a title and text, which is what I had, or I can do full screen is what I had. So title and text. So again, you do have some options for how it will look, but it's going to pretty much look the way the theme or the template is set up. Okay, so if you like that one, you would then move on to the next one. If you didn't like that one, you just hold down the button again and re-record it. It automatically replaces the one that was there, and away you go. I recommend that even if you're going to take a break, that you don't change your setup. In other words, if I go into another room now, let's say with my phone, and I'm still working on my Spark video, and I go start recording in a different room, it might sound different just because of the acoustics in that particular room. And therefore, then it wouldn't sound seamless when it's played back. So even though you don't have to do it all at once, I do recommend that you do it all in the same environment. That way the audio will sound like one consistent track all the way through. All right, so let's go ahead, put in the next one. Again, if I had a video, I don't think I have a video handy from Egypt, but if you have a video, this is where it will let you upload that video and put it in. Now, just keep in mind that, and I'll maybe just grab a sample video just so we'll have something to play with, but just keep in mind that video, unlike photos, videos can only be grabbed from your device. So in this case, since I'm working on a browser, can only be grabbed from my computer. If I were working on my phone or my iPad, could only be grabbed from the local storage on my phone or my iPad. In other words, video does not come down from the cloud. Only your images can be either local or on the cloud. All right, so let's see if I got a movie here. Well, here's the 2017 Stinger movie. Let's go ahead and bring that in. Oh, that one might be an unsupported format. I saw that .mov at the end there. It probably wants an MP4. Let me see if I've got one. Let me see what this is. All right, this one might work. Yep, that one works. Okay, so I can play it back. I can choose how much of it I want. So this is the trimming part of it. And again, I'm just going to keep it short. Let's say I want to just keep it to that. We'll save the video. It's now saving that particular clip. So I like the little trimmer handles that let me say, oh, for this 15-minute video, I only want this segment of it to upload for the story. That's pretty cool. And of course, it's uploading that clip to the cloud as well. And then show the backdrop or setting for what happened. Oh, yeah, talk about it. So now, because that video has audio, I can just let this go. I don't have to narrate over it. Or you could use the video as a backdrop and narrate over it so that you don't have sound. So you have a few choices for sound. You can either have the sound be soft so that you can narrate over it, loud, so it's just playing back in normal audio, or mute the sound, so it just plays the video while you narrate what's happening. So for example, I will do that. I will mute the sound of the video so that it can just be my narration. All right, let's do it. If this were a video from Egypt, this is how it would work, and I muted it so I can just talk over it. All right. And I would say, let's say I'd want to re-record that. If this were my Egyptian video, this is what it would look like, and I would just be able to talk over it. All right, tried to keep it under the same 5 seconds as the video. That's another trick. All right, so let's play that back. If this were my Egyptian video, this is what it would look like, and I would just be able to talk over it. All right, that's the way it worked. Or I can say, let's see what happens if I play the music or play the audio from the video too. If this were my Egyptian video, this is what it would look like, and I would just be able to talk over it. Now, I can't hear what you're hearing in that case. Let me plug in this headset. If this were my Egyptian video, this is what it would look like, and I would just be able to talk over it. All right, I didn't hear any audio from that, but let me try. I heard my audio, but let me put it on loud and see what happens. If this were my Egyptian video, this is what it would look like, and I would just be able to talk over it. Yep, okay. So that time, when I put it on loud, I can hear the audio from the video a little bit better. But again, that would be just because I'm listening in a weird way. I'd probably keep it on soft or mute it altogether. So let's keep it on soft. And now we'll go to the next one. And now, again, this is what, at this point in Spark Video or Spark Page, This is what I like to refer to as rinse and repeat, because now you're just doing the same thing over and over again. You're finishing your story. I've shown you already how to use the app. It's basically, you can import images, you can import text, or type text, you can import photos, and there's an icon choice as well we'll talk about. The next thing we'll do is we'll mess with the music. We'll change the music track behind this, and then we'll play the whole thing back. But at this point, it's just repeating the same steps until you finished your entire video. That's all it takes. So let's say I want to put in another photo. It should take me right back to Lightroom because that's where I got them last. Unfortunately, it doesn't remember the collection or the album, but it did take me right back. And now, for example, I could grab this photo. And again, it'll take a second or two to render that, but it just did. And let me think about what I'm going to say. The Sphinx is something that you have to see in person to really appreciate the magnitude and size of this magnificent creation. All right, that's it. So now, again, just keep adding till you're done. So now let's say I wanted to play back the whole thing. I want to see what the whole thing looks like and sounds like. So this plays the individual slides. This button over here on the left, over there, that button, that plays the whole thing. So now if I play the whole thing. My first trip to Egypt was back in 1990. But then later on, I got a chance to go back for work. If this were my Egyptian video, this is what it would look like, and I would just be able to talk over it. The Sphinx is something that you have to see in person to really appreciate the magnitude and size of this magnificent creation. All right, and then blank slide, blank slide, blank slide, because I didn't get rid of those blank slides yet. But you get the idea. Now it's just a matter of you continuing the process and editing until you're done. So let's see what icon does. Icon, it's bringing up a search. Let's do a travel theme. And literally there are icons. So that's what icon means. So if I wanted to do like this globe, I get the world travel icon, and that's pretty much it. That's what it's for. So if I wanted to add a photo behind that, I could. Oh, I don't want to find free photos. Oh, that's another choice, by the way, if I didn't say that. You can also find royalty-free photos that you can just use. So if you don't want to pay for the ones from Adobe Stock, or if you don't have your own. So let's go back to travel one more time. Let's go back to Egypt one more time. Let's grab another photo one more time, and let's do these guys. All right, so that's what the icon kind of does. It lets me basically have an icon. So I can have an icon or change it to a different one if I want. So maybe that one. You get the idea. So icons are icons. You don't really have, again, a lot of control over it. It is what it is. Let's go back to the layout. So again, I could do a split screen on that. And the icons, I think it's white in this case. So it really didn't work that well. Let's try. Oh, it got rid of the icon. Let's see. So on those views, we don't see the icon. That's what it is. Got it. All right, but that's an icon. I don't really use the icons that often. Next, let's say that I now want to get rid of the extra slides. I can hit delete. I just right click, hit delete, get rid of the slides I don't need. Again, these are just placeholders. You don't have to use them unless you want to. And then we'll do, I just said one last one. We'll do literally one last one this time. And we'll grab just one more photo. And this will finish up our story. And we are just about out of time anyway. And now I'll show you how to publish this, and I'll show you how to change the music. All right, just grab a random photo here. Horizontal photos or landscape-oriented photos tend to work better unless you're going to do split screen. All right, random photo. And a look at the hieroglyphics, which look like they haven't aged a single day. All right, so now I've got my whole story done. There are credits here. If you want to change the credits, you can. You can add your own. The music, I think, has to be credited unless, of course, you add your own. And let's go to music. Let's talk about that. So you can add my music, meaning just like you can add your own photos from your hard drive, you can add your own music from your hard drive or from your iOS device. Or if you say, hey, I don't really have any great song to use, then you can just use any of these, or you can just turn the music off. You can just have a narrated slide that doesn't have or narrated movie that doesn't have any music behind it at all. So, for example, if you want to see what any of these sound like, you hit play. Let me make sure you can hear that. It's really soft in the background. All right. So you get the idea. Find the song you like, or add your own, or turn the music off. I kind of like Skyline. So I just switched over to Skyline. I don't have to do anything else to my movie. It automatically replaced the music track in the background for the whole thing. So that's all you have to do is just pick the music you want. You also have the ability to go back and choose a different theme if you want. Choose a different color choices for things that might show up in the background, especially on split screen. And you'll notice that, the branded themes are for paid Creative Cloud members. So if you have a photography plan or full plan or single app plan, then you can add your own brand. So when I play this back, for example, when I get to the end, notice it automatically put my logo in. And now I could say, visit my website at terrywhite.com. And that's part of the branded option that you have as a Creative Cloud paid member. If you don't have a Creative Cloud paid account, you can do everything I just showed you for free, except the branding. The branding is only for paid members. All right, so now once you're done, once you're happy with your finished video, if this is the video you like, and notice I put the little TW down there, again, that's part of the branding. If you're happy with the whole thing and you like the way it looks and you're now ready to share it with the world, you have that option. Let's go ahead and close it and hit share. I can create a link for this. I can have it be a part of the categories. For example, if I want this to be shared by the Spark team or not, I don't have to have it shared by the Spark team. And if I don't or do, I can create a link, and this will generate a custom link because this is all being hosted by Adobe for you to share out. Now, let's say you really like this video and maybe you want to upload it to YouTube. You want to share it your own ways. You don't want to just have a link. As soon as it makes a link, I'll show it. I'll show you what happens, but I want to show you one more option, then we'll call it a day. I like the little inspiration that it puts there. Hang on while we upload a bit of art, smidge of science. There was an option next to the share that said download. So download will create the video and just save it to your hard drive. And now you have your finished video ready to go. Same thing on your iOS device. You can just share share it to your camera roll and you'll have the video. So you either get a hosted link to share it with, or you get the ability to embed it on a website, or you get the ability to download the finished video onto your device. So if I copy that link now, and if I were to just paste it or share it anywhere, let me show you what that looks like. If I were to paste it in my browser now, that's what the person would see that I would share it to, and they would just be able to play it right back in their browser. So either way, share the actual video or share or download it to your drive so you can do whatever you want to do with it. So that's Adobe Spark Video. Now, at this point, you should be ready to create videos all day long because it's literally this easy. It's a matter of putting images, videos, text, voice narration, or not. Some people hate narrating. You don't have to narrate a single thing. I've seen Spark videos that are just text, photos, and videos, that the text tells the story. So it's literally up to you of how you want to tell your story from this point on using Adobe Spark. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see some Spark videos in your near future. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.